Just a moment ago, I got a release on my phone from the House Ways and Means Committee. Remember, they're the one that just received, got kind of clearance finally from the Supreme Court to get their hands on Donald Trump's tax returns from the IRS. They've noticed their own meeting on Tuesday to discuss documents protected under Internal Revenue Service Code Section 6103. Those are the tax returns that they have had kind of theoretically in their possession. Schrodinger's tax returns, they can neither confirm nor deny their existence. Well, they're going to have this meeting on Tuesday, a necessary step towards any other way to potentially make them public in the future. Not a great start of the week next week for Donald Trump.
So let me talk to you about the Tuesday thing. Can I be completely honest with you, Garrett, and also be transparent with our viewers? We didn't know if you'd seen that alert because I just saw it on my phone. We were going to ask you in your ear because I didn't want to throw you a question that was going to surprise you. So I'm thrilled that you brought it up because this is super important, right? And I want to remind people, this dates back to 2015, really, when Donald Trump first started to be asked when he was a candidate whether he would commit to releasing his tax returns as president. He said no. He said no again in 2016. I asked him about 145,000 times. He kept saying no. He said people just don't care, right? The reason why this is relevant, Garrett, is because of these questions around whether there was a conflict of interest between his business, the Trump Organization, which for years owned a hotel right here in Washington, where people that had business with the government would stay, and his role as president of the United States. Explain what could happen at this Tuesday meeting, because you've walked through why it could be potentially bad for Donald Trump, right, optically. Would it mean that they could release some of those documents? Would it mean that they would talk about some of those? Like, do we even know that yet?
I think it's probably too early to say, except that if there wasn't any here, you have to kind of work in the negative space here. If the committee was going to do nothing with these documents, they're only in session for one more week. It would have been a very easy thing to say, we won this fight with the Supreme Court. We proved our point. We proved we have this oversight ability. Thank you very much. We're all going home. But the chairman, Richie Neal, I've been trying to talk to him every chance I get in the hallway. He's been very, very cautious about this because there are specific secrecy rules around these documents, but there also are mechanisms by which the committee could make them public. Now, they're not going to hold a hearing, and they're not going to, kind of project these things up onto a big screen in one of the conference rooms here, but there are potentially ways they can get them into the record. And I think the committee's been trying to figure out how to get the right legal pretext to do that. Whether they announce that Tuesday or discuss that Tuesday is unclear. But again, this tells me they are certainly trying to make at least some elements of these public, because it would have been far too easy to simply say we won our fight, now we're going home.
Ken, jump in on this one.
Yeah, just to amplify what Garrett is saying, the law governing this process does allow this committee to take a vote and start the process of making these public, sort of sending them to the rest of the House and Senate in a way that they become public. Now, that's a big step. I mean, tax returns are generally private, although every past president has released theirs except Donald Trump. But nonetheless, a big step for Congress to take somebody's tax returns and then unilaterally make them public, but a step that a lot of people think is justified here for the very reasons you were discussing. Potential conflicts of interest, questions about foreign income, questions about tax strategies that may be questionable, bordering on illegal in the view of some. So there's a lot of interest in Donald Trump's tax returns, and it looks like I think Garrett's absolutely right. You don't set a hearing like this if you intend to do nothing with the tax returns.